I do think I'm looking at the supports for Yakutou. If Lion especially has a good game, because I was saying, like, I want to see an initiator, they grab the Lion. You need the Blink before you can really initiate on the Storm Spirit and the Phoenix, right? Hex them before they can use some big spells, cancel the Bane, Fiend's Grip, things like that. Stay in the back so you don't get run down by Lycan. But if you're having a bad game, that Blink's going to come out really late on a slow farmer like Lion. So how the laning stage goes will matter a lot to him. And then so will the Static Storm timing. That is a really powerful tool to have versus this Storm Spirit. The supports as well, you know, Phoenix and Bane don't like dealing with the big AoE silence. So if you lose your Wisdom Shrines, if you have a bad time on laning stage, again, another ultimate that is going to be very delayed on a slow farming support. So that is, you know, that's kind of setting the stage for me. How does these lanes go? If you're just doing fine, like, you don't even have to be winning, you just need to be even so you hit your sixes at a good time, then I think they have the tools they need to get a good tempo going.
I feel like we say that a lot in a lot of these games, right? Like, it seems like the supports that are being picked right now are ones that heavily rely on getting a quicker 6, and it makes life tough, but they are going to fight at this bounty rune, and they will throw that Earth Spike on a Ghost. He might drop for first blood. The raise lands by Emo, and they do, in fact, get Ghost. That's a good start for the side of Yakutou, and they need that over mid, especially to keep this perfect record in the mid SF category.
That is a scary hero to give first blood to, because not only do you enter the mid lane with a couple extra souls, so you get better damage, but with that first blood gold, you get your bottle sooner, you get your item sooner, and Shadow Fiend's a mid hero who can really get out of control, because as you get more last hits and denies, you get more damage to get more last hits and denies, and potentially really shut down this mid Storm Spirit, delay that level 6, which I think he's the playmaker for his team. Bane, Fiend's Grip will be useful later, but of course your Storm Spirit's going to hit 6 before that. So if you can get him online, he can start helping out your side lanes if you're not getting shut down by a Shadow Fiend that just got first blood.
Oof. Yeah, he hits 2 first, and I'm looking at the supports from both sides, and I'm thinking obviously a little bit later ahead when we're looking to maybe come over contest water runes or the first power rune. These are good supports to do it with for the side of Yakutou. Disruptor maybe not as much, but just having that extra stun and maybe that Hex here for Lion is more than enough to secure, I would say, Emo the rune, but also potentially to get Emo a kill at that mark where, like, Sumail's not 6 quite yet, but, you know, is in that spot where maybe he just ends up dead. And taking a look there as Ali has to walk it back as he is not having a good time being hounded by a bunch of wolves. Some people's dreams are to just have a room full of dogs. It's not supports when there's a Lycan in the game.
I think if it was his own wolves, he'd be down for that. It's enemy wolves that aren't so fun, just running at him. You really can't do too much. The first few levels of wolves aren't too bad. You, like, farm those. Once you get level 7 on Lycan, those wolves are terrible. Alpha wolves, oh man, I'm glad those days are gone. That was even worse.
Oof. I shiver as a support player. Want a room
Imagine being
by
a level 10
Sumail.
support, just being killed by a wolf. Just out there. Yeah, we see. I like this from. I like this from Sumail. He's already started creep dragging in the mid lane. Knows he doesn't want to do an honest, you know, like, oh, let's, you know, go for clean timings on the last hits. You know, let's compete that way. No way. This guy's got, you know, extra damage over me. I'm not playing that game.
Sentry by Emo gives him a bit more gold as it finds that OBS that was on the high ground. That's pretty nice, and a couple of raises land. Bottom lane, GH here with Ghost, and, you know, Phoenix definitely a hero that can make you suffer, but let's steal that Lotus as they did not want to fight the 1v1 with the Fire Spirits being thrown onto Bobica. Bobica does play, especially if he has a good lane, a very greedy style of 4. And sometimes an itemization that you might question, but I feel like Lion is one of those heroes that you're kind of stuck in the standard. There's not much you can get that I'm thinking that really deviates you too much.
I mean, unless you go fist
Straight
to death, and then but he didn't this game. It's a Essence Eater, boring, boo. But I think it makes sense. It's a good game for it, especially the Storm Spirit, right? He zips in. Any mana you can remove from him is useful. Might as well do a little damage in that time as well. I say he hasn't gotten a point in it yet, which is fine because he's only level 2. But sometimes if Lions really want to mess with you in your mana department, they'll get extra points in mana drain early rather than some of their other spells. So we'll see if he wants to do that. But as you were saying, it doesn't let you play as greedy as maxing your stun first.
Yeah, I've now we're seeing Lion hit level 3. I've seen some different variations where it's mana drain maxed out, but against honestly Phoenix DK, it's not like the most important thing. Having that extra bit of lockdown might lead you to get a kill on the Phoenix if you can get that Earth Spike and then land a Starbreaker behind it. Especially you go from that level 1 to 2, it is another extra 65 damage on the Earth Spike there too. Top lane looks like it's just been pretty quiet. I mean, honestly, the game's been quiet since the first blood at the Horn. Like, this has not been much aggression, but I don't really see lanes in which that we're going to see too much unless it is bottom. Like, if there's one lane that I think it's going to happen in, it's bottom.
Yeah, which I think this, slow, even game is good for Yakutou supports. But I will say, I was worried about Sumail in that mid lane dealing with the first blood Shadow Fiend, but I like what he's done. He was doing the creep dragging. He just shoves out the lane and then comes over here to jungle. So, I mean, if we look at the net worth, yeah, Shadow Fiend's a little bit ahead, but a lot of that is the first blood gold, which means through his efficient farming, he's kept up, and it looks like he should be getting a Lion kill here with the help of his
GH
supports.
is here too.
Thinking about
maybe save, but it's just too late.
Yeah, Storm Spirit's doing perfectly fine.
Ooh, and the D ward too. So even what you came over here for to place this ward, to have this vision on the Storm Spirit's gone. I mean, obviously that's why he's there, but like, it does feel pretty bad.
Yeah, it's a good read on what should happen, but it's actually just slightly late and maybe a little unlucky with the supports coming in, or arguably a good read from Nigma. Hold that thought. Omar sticking around a little too long, gets killed.
But when you trouble though, Sumail went top. He's gonna get this kill onto the Sven. They know that both supports went over there towards mid, and they're vulnerable in the side lanes. That's a good pickoff by Sumail. I'm really impressed by the audible called. Like you said, like to just go back into the jungle too. He had 6 before Emo did, and now he's using that earlier timing to get a kill and seeing the moves over mid to get not only a kill, but getting a kill on the opponent carry.
Well, they still want to punish him a bit.
They want to go for this. They want to try and steal this out. Not easy. Emo doesn't have a lot of mana.
It looks like they're debating, like, do we really want to do this? I'm not so
Just take the
sure.
wave, we'll leave.
So they're going to back out. But you do force a bit of rotations. Everyone had to back out to make sure they secured the Wisdom Shrine. Dawnbreaker gets their own on the other side. So you don't steal it, but, you don't really lose anything for that play either.
Turns into an early lead for the side of Nigma Galaxy, which is, not too bad if you're the side of Yakutou, and Fly getting a bit of a solo lane so far. These supports have sat over mid, and they are looking to maybe just stick around for this 8-minute power rune to try and give Emo a bit more over in this mid lane and maybe get a kill or something like that. But we've talked about how you kind of need these level 6s and these supports, and with them sitting mid and splitting this experience and not really doing much or not really being in a lane, both these supports are level 4. GH about to hit that level 6 marker, and it was the Dawn that took the shrine over in the dire side of the map, and that leaves them, getting Dawn half of that shrine and one support getting the extra experience. And even with them here, they don't control the power rune. It goes to Sumail. He gets an arcane rune. You need to be careful now if you're the side of Yakutou.
Yeah, these supports on the side of Nigma are a lot stronger pre-level 6, right? Like, no one wants to fight into a Phoenix or a Bane. Not when you're like a Disruptor and a Lion that really just don't have a lot of damage. So you can bring the heroes, but you can't actually face off against the supports on the other side. And while we've been so caught up in the mid lane, the action happening here, I gotta say, Sven's off to a bit of a slow start, and actually so is
Yeah.
the Dawnbreaker. The side lanes struggling a bit here with heroes that are usually quite stable. I suppose their supports have left them for quite a while. So maybe that adds up to some of the difference, but I would have thought they'd be able to stay in lane, you know, versus the Dragon Knight and the Lycan, like everyone just farms. So I am a bit surprised to see such a gold diff already.
Yeah, Bobica is going to get caught here. There's really not much of a place for him to go with Noob right behind him. And it forces Sven to go back further into the jungle where he pops his God Strength and is just trying to farm. I'm more surprised. I would say that Beyond doesn't really have the farm. A 1v1 versus DK shouldn't be awful, right? Am I just not seeing where that ends up being that bad?
I mean, you certainly can't kill him like you might other carries, but yeah, I would have thought you should at least be similar farm. Granted, Dragon Knight has some good damage, so you'd have to fight for the CS, but you know, this 1,500 gold difference is a bit more than I think should have happened.
Sven kind of behind, and I'm a little worried about timings being missed where Fly's map's just going to shrink too much.
With that said, Yakutou's emphasis has clearly been on Emo Shadow Fiend, right?
Yes.
They have been helping him out, rotating around, trying to slow down the Storm Spirit. And in that sense, it's been successful. Like, he is at the top of the net worth. They did slow down the Storm. I wonder how much you can do now with that, though, because going back to the 6 timings on supports, right, they're not quite there yet. So here's a support Phoenix currently just walking away. They do manage to get the... Oh, okay, so Phoenix has their level 6. Actually just uses the egg to not give up a kill, and they don't want to set up on it, so off he goes. I guess you get the egg cooldown, but that is a smoke with 3 heroes that don't really get anything.
And the thing about that, too, is like, yeah, that cooldown's kind of long for level 1 on Supernova. It's 2 minutes. But those 2 minutes are probably going to be spent on both these supports for Yakutou getting their level 6s. And they're actually using that Sunray to try and go and get a kill here onto Emo. The Solar Guardian will keep him alive. He'll look for the Requiem. He does get it off, and maybe they get a kill here onto the Bane, and they do. But the glimpse back onto Sumail. They don't have the damage for Morsh. Still shapeshifted is Noob. But that's a good save to keep Emo alive, especially like you said, they're keeping emphasis on Emo mid. And they need to keep that advantage that they have with SF at least alive.
Yeah, they had everything going to help him out. Fortunately, the Dawnbreaker has her level 6, so she was able to come in. And then Emo has raindrops. He's got that Sister Shroud. So all the extra survivability to keep him alive there long enough for the rest of his team to show up. You get a return kill on the Bane. That's not the worst, but using that many ultimates and bringing that many heroes and not getting the Shadow Fiend, and in fact, he's just straight back to farming stacks that are prepared for him. That is the part that, you know, you're a little sad about on Nigma.
Mambo.
Just stun here as it's another power rune for the side of Nigma Galaxy. Thinking about picking up the haste rune, but holds it for Sumail to bottle up. So he's, I think, gotten every power rune.
I think there was an illusion rune for Shadow Fiend. That's part of what helped him survive that last one, too.
So he got the
being able to
worst
use
rune,
that.
but a good rune when he survives. But having haste
That's how the
Arcane
illusion rune
and-
feels, right?
Yeah.
It either sucks or you're like, oh, this is so good.
Meanwhile,
It's only
every
when
other
there's
rune
Dispel.
feels so strong.
All the time, yeah.
Especially with the
Balance.
changes to regen rune. Ever since those
That one's
happened,
ridiculous.
it's like,
They gotta
alright.
nerf that one further.
Yeah, take that out of here. Make it the OG. Just get regen rune to. You get hit, it's over. Don't mess around.
I'm all for it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I'm in the Overlord soon for Noob. He's happy with his farm. He's only 500 gold behind the Shadow Fiend. But Sven's catching up.
Yeah, he's quietly farming away. I mean, it is the nice thing about Sven, right? You have the natural cleave. You get that Mask of Madness, Echo Saber. So your farming speed in the jungle is all pretty good. And looks like he's got a stack of Ancients for him with this God
Juicy
Strength.
gold.
But I will say the fact that a Sven is behind a Dragon Knight at the start of the game is pretty good for Dragon Knight, who is not nearly as fast of a farmer with the, you know, he doesn't have that free cleave anymore.
Fly. I think he's got all the gold there ready to go. Does he want to fight with this? You have no god strength. You're probably going to have to wait for the next timing on that to maybe want to go. And I guess hopefully by then you've got yourself that blink dagger, but that's not going to happen in 60 seconds. So do you wait for the god strength? Do you wait for just the blink dagger? I guess that's also what comes your way. As this is an earth spike and a finger. Maybe the kill, but he's so quick. Even when he's stuck in an animation, he gallops so far away, and there is a pause coming through from Nigma Galaxy. They got some packet loss. What is
I was just about to say before that gank started, it's 14 minutes in. We haven't seen Static Storm and Finger yet, and that was kind of our worry a little bit, that they had a slow 6, slow tempo. Finally comes out, and because it took so long, right? He has a lot of gold. He's got a lot of levels. He's a pretty tanky hero on this Lycan, so he gets away scot-free. In fact, I feel like he almost kills the lion with his summons. In fact, he's still not safe. There's a Helm Dom hunting down this lion. Needs help from Shadow Fiend to help me out, big brother. He's bullying me. Save me.
God, keep me alive? No, that ain't happening. Ghost getting a kill there, puts them up 2,000 net worth. That first finger, you don't get a kill. Ags is off the table.
That's your benchmark.
Yeah,
get a kill with the first ult. I get Ags. No kill, no Ags.
No, it's not that. It just keeps the dream of maybe wanting it later down the line alive.
I see.
The stacks maybe mean something.
I actually still would find it funny if he eventually gets one. Nigma's been playing a lot of long series, so perhaps this game and the series will drag on and he'll have the time to go back for it.
Got this catch on Omar.
Glimpse.
Yeah, throws down that ward, grabs that vision, gets the glimpse onto Omar. It's not the quickest kill. Oh, God, if he had somehow found a way to get himself denied by skeletons, more power to him.
Fortunately, the skeletons on their own aren't too strong. They buff up others, but relatively weak on their own.
Thank God for the two of them, because that was a long kill for just the Bane. Only took a little while for him. Another shapeshift, because they've got this wolf, and it does see Bobica, and look at the damage onto Bobica immediately, but the Requiem comes in, the race is onto Sumail, and this is Bobica dead, but it's Static Storm. Oh, Sumail just walks out of it, the kinetic field not up in time. Sumail will survive this all, and Beyond now needs to run. They're looking to get this kill on the Emo, but a Starbreaker from Beyond stops Noob, and that will let Emo survive, but Beyond is going to die.
The kinetic field did not keep the Storm in the static. Otherwise, I think you at least get a kill onto the Storm Spirit, which is pretty good. But instead, you end up running away on this. Your most farmed hero, Shadow Fiend, or was. Sven just passed him since he didn't join the fight. He's been quietly farming. Trying to get to the Blink Dagger before he joins in, which, I get it. If you're just trying to run in this fight, you're chasing a Lycan, chasing a Storm Spirit, you're going to get Fiend's Grip, right? You're just going to be controlled in these fights, so you did need this Blink Dagger. But that means Nigma had free reign in that last fight. Smoke up, though. Blink reveal. You got to find something. It's been a very slow game for them so far.
Can they do this?
I think Bane caught sight of that.
Yeah. This seems super difficult to try and jump into. Smoked by Nigma Galaxy. But these heroes aren't committing yet. There's still 40 seconds till Dawnbreaker has an ult. And they'll go for Fly. They've got the lockdown, and they've got the kill. They make that look easy. Fly never even has a chance to go into the God Strength. Both these supports are looking pretty fragile, but Ali able to get at least behind the tower, but Sumail's right there with him, and he gets a triple kill.
Well, that is some much-needed recovery for the Storm Spirit. He's been the focus of the Dire. They've been trying to bully him. They've been trying to shut him down, but what can you do? Amplify damage into a triple kill. He is back to where he needs to be, and they're going to get a tier 2 off of this now for free, and then just head straight back to Roche. You tried to stop us. All you did is give us free kills. Now we're still going to get Roche.
Yeah, why not, right? Honestly, the Sven in this game is giving me similar vibes to the Sven Nigma had in their last game. There's Omar. Requiem does go off. That Fiend's Grip's not going to do enough, and that glimpse is going to pull back a dead body as Emo finishes off Omar.
If
not a bad kill to
gets
get.
that off, they might actually be able to find a fight there because the tier 1 is still up, so the other heroes rotated in, but Fiend's Grip just a second too late.
Ooh, he is in the river trying to find something. Stormhammer with the glimpse into the Static Storm. They have found themselves Ghost. This would be a big kill to get. They go to the finger, they get the kill, and they'll take out the DK. That's a second one. Is there anything more on the menu, or was that the final course? It's looking like dessert might be GH and Will. A 3-course meal here for Yakutou.
Now you should get the tier 1 tower finally. A little late, but better late than never. And then maybe you push, farm a bit, go straight over to Tormentor, but you won't have your ultimates besides the Dawnbreaker. So I actually don't know if you could fight it. I think as they respawn, Nigma is going to be saying, like, that's ours for free, head straight over there.
Which is what I thought they were going to do prior.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah, I guess they had a little bit of time, right? They were trying to play fast. They made that play top. You send the Bane bottom. Bane is one of the best heroes at going on its own because between Nightmare and Fiend's Grip, it is so much time. You can find someone, start locking them down. Your team can finish what they're doing, you know, take a little break, start the TP in, walk over, and you're still being Fiend's Gripped in that time. So they sent Omar down there. That's why they ended up moving down there, but didn't quite pan out the way they were hoping.
It's like 12 seconds of blocking. And actually, it might be Nigma who end up getting themselves this Tormentor while they lose GH. It's Noob taking it alone and getting a shard here for the Bane, who can start picking up farm duty now with this Brain Sap upgrade. It's always nice to have.
Yeah, the build right now is Aether Lens straight into the Aghanims because it makes it a lot easier to use the Fiend's Grip, but also really brings down the cooldown to less than a minute, or a little more than a minute. A little bit more than a minute, and it's a BKB piercing ult. Very good versus a Sven. So, yeah, a bit more farming speed with that shard. Feeling good going into this the longer it drags out, which has it's been a lot of their games.
Yeah, a lot of their games have kind of gone long. They've followed this back and forth cycle. Ups and downs and ups. It's quite tough to have a good cardiogram when you're a Enigma fan. As you continue to watch the spike rates.
That's why people like the team, right?
Yeah.
The ups and the downs.
yeah, sure.
All right, Blink Dagger on the Lion. Last time they had the Blink on Sven, it led to them being triple killed. Hopefully this Blink reveal goes a bit better for them.
And that is Bobica's first item. That Blink Dagger coming in. Oh boy.
I mean, he does need it. We identified in the draft, right? He wanted to be the initiator, but he needs a good start. This is what happens when you don't have a good start on the Lion, and why it's usually a little safer for cores to be your initiator. This is a 21 minute Blink.
Smoked up. Nigma looking for their opportunity to go on a fly-5 with the instant hex from Bobica, as well as the finger and the Earth Spike. Ollie's gonna run. The kinetic field is down. They've used the Fiend's Grip onto Beyond, who came in with the Solar Guardian. They get the kill on Ollie. They'll take out Beyond. 2 heroes dead. Fly never popped that God Strength, but it doesn't look as though he really could have done anything with it. But the quick 1, 2, 3 ability usage there from Bobica onto the DK that really didn't even feel it was kind of interesting.
I think he gained health while it was happening.
Dire are scanning.
600 damage, not enough to, you know, get Ghost's attention. Although another Blink in and another Dragon Tail. Requiem flies through. God Strength used. Fly trying to get the damage off of the Nightmare. Now the Supernova, they get the kill to Bobica, and now they got to run on the side of Yakutou. They're going to try and get out of here. Ollie looking to step forward, sacrifice his life, throws down the Static Storm. They also get Roche at the same time. Ollie running away, but there is a ball lightning right behind him, and Ollie will die here to Omar and that Brain Sap.
Every time they try to... Oh, guys. They're leaving it for. They know they chased everyone out of here. Give it to.
It's not the
Sumail.
banner.
Oh yeah. No one cares about that. Just leave that in the pit. No, I mean they keep trying to contest Roche on Yakutou Bros, but Nigma is ready every time. They're getting extra kills. I feel like they were baiting Roche for the last 5 minutes, getting 6 kills, something like that off of this.
Dire's bottom tower
Looking to just bait them in, gain that net worth lead, 9,000 net worth lead now, and
One more for the road.
yeah, this could be an
2
issue.
more for the road.
Oh boy. Sumail, here with Noob. Beyond should be pretty dead, and they get him and Fly. I mean, that is another double kill here for Sumail. He is 8-0-3.
Should be able to get this tier 2 mid pretty easily, and then that's the last outer tower, so you still have some time to chip the high ground a little bit. I don't know if you want to fully commit to it, because you have a lot of time on this Aegis left.
Oh,
I think you could siege a little bit with the remaining dragon form time if you want, and then as they respawn, just back off, wait for another pickoff. They've been very successful at that. They have good vision. You have these invisible wolves to help you find targets as well, right? Just get another pickoff, and then go off of that, which seems to be the plan. They are backing off a little bit here.
They back off, but it is putting pressure on all 3 lanes, right? Ghost is, well, not really pushing the lane at the moment. He was thinking about pushing it a second ago. You've got mid pushing in. Top was pushing in. Noob's kind of backed off of that. He's going to farm up a Blink Dagger. Also looking for a BKB. So they're just, yeah, like you said, resetting the timings, get us back in there.
We're trying to set up some deep wards to help them see when Yakutou Bros were leaving their base. But they know the game plan, so they're putting down sentries, trying to remove those deep wards as they farm as a group. This is kind of what you need to do when you're in this situation. You can't afford to be picked off.
GH is close, but they just do not see him or Ghost. Circle comes through from Ghost, kind of giving an idea of where they might be. And they are kind of set here on Nigma Galaxy. Not hard for them to kind of join the fight with the 2 heroes that are out of the group, with both the Storm as well as the Lycan. Lycan shapeshifts, runs in, but the Ball Lightning in from Sumail could secure a catch. They don't go for anything, and they will back up on the side of Yakutou, as they will go all the way up into the high ground and still continue to try and defend. But as we've learned in the past, as we've learned at times, no lead is safe for Nigma Galaxy, it feels like. But I really like where they're at in this game. I'm not gonna put that on them. I think they are in a very secure position at the moment. Not trying to jinx anything.
That's the hype of it, man. If I told you, if you could see the future, it just wouldn't be the same to know, like, oh, this team's gonna win, you know? Like, do you go back and watch old games you already know the results of? Rarely. That's the exciting thing. Like, is Nigma gonna win this? Is it gonna be a throw? That's the hype. That's the fun. That's the excitement. Right now, they're just trying to play off their vision, which, props to the Dire. They have been doing a good job removing things, placing their own vision, trying to play around this, but the hunt continues. Heading top. They may find Emo as he clears out this way. Oh, fast blink out.
Gosh. That could have been brutal. Sven had just taken the Twin Gate bottom. This is now, what, a minute? Yeah, a minute left on this Aegis. Lincoln's soon to be completed here on Storm Spirit. Not much targetable that'll make his life difficult. They are TPing down bottom. Omar is here, ready to go for Fly, but another quick blink and another escape. Gosh, it doesn't get tighter than that. That was close. That was potentially rough, but they now have found themselves a kill here on Emo, and this is what happens every time. It's never just one, because Beyond is trying his hardest to save somebody, and it ends up being him as well. He is 2-4-4. He hasn't died a lot, but the last few deaths we've seen from him is him reacting just a second too late to try and save these heroes and then throwing himself into a death.
This got melted, man. Lycan's got the the AC, you've got the corrosive dragon form going. This is what they've been waiting for, right? As soon as you get
there
one,
by Fly. He's trying. Oh my God!
Also 3-shot.
Yeah, I don't know. That might have been 2. But Fly trying to stand his ground. He's got himself a static storm. They go to the ear spike. They've got themselves the finger. They get the kill and it goes. But now Fly melting to the sun ray. And the help from Sumail. Down goes Bobica. Full team wipe. And that was a buyback from the Lion too. They could take these buildings real quick, even without the DK.
Yeah, and this is why Nigma was so patient with that Aegis. Even though you could probably siege with the creeps and with the dragon form, they know if we just find one good pickoff outside of the base, then we'll destroy it in, I think that was 5 seconds to finish a tier 3 tower. So they knew it was that easy. They find a pickoff at the very end. Now they're in a good spot. Trying to stagger some death timers here. That's another kill onto Shadow Fiend. And maybe even beyond.
Feel good on him, honestly. Beyond Sunray burning.
Oh my
nowhere
goodness, the
to
damage.
go. Supernova with the Sunray. 2 sets of racks are taken, and Yakutou still holding on to the 2 letters that hold them from their ancient being destroyed early.
Might not have to hold them very much longer. This is the last barracks going down. There's no real reason to back out. This has been going on so long. You know, the shapeshift is back up. Dragon Knight, who died earlier, is about to respawn and TP to the outpost. Join another fight here. I guess you get one more defense on the side of Yakutou.
It ain't gonna be easy. I'm wondering if they wait for Roche. The timer is relatively close.
Baited by a creep.
Well, yeah, Fly's out here to get 250 gold. Meanwhile, Ali's dead inside the base. They pop the BKB. They look for the damage on a noob, but they don't have it. Fly getting chased, but now Earth Spike Finger Noob's dead. That's something, but the BKB pop by Sumail looking over at Fly. Still the damage, not enough. Bobica, Fly, and Ali die. They'll call GG. Beyond will die a second time, and Nigma Galaxy will take game number 1.
It was very sneaky from Noob hiding in the trees like that. Dude, you're have a diffusal or some other kind of mana burn. Is just straight up raw damage, which at the start, you know, relies on the negative armor, but as time goes on, you just hit hard with like a Daedalus, you know? So if you can get to that point, I think they can deal with it. You also have an Earthshaker who nowadays they don't scale as hard in the right click department like they used to. They go a little bit more magic damage, but it is still a lot to contribute, especially if you're getting some lower cooldowns from the Coddle, maybe some damage amp from Solar Bind. I think they've got the tools as long as she's not totally out of control.
We'll see if Yakutou, sorry, I have to call them their new name. I'm so stuck on the old one. But Yakutou can get that done. What they can do here before the horn with this smoke. And I'm wondering how the lanes end up going. I'm kind of worried about Emo here, as he is, you know, he had a good lane last game. Like, it wasn't that bad from him. But he ended up being the one that had to make everything kind of happen in that early game as Fly got slowed down. Maybe that's not the case this time, but it is another case of maybe a carry not being available to the lineup of Yakutou to try and get things done. But the biggest takeaway from the last game, too, was that your offlane was struggling as well. And I think Nightstalker kind of needs to flourish early in the lane, have that effectiveness, and maybe they can work from there if they want to give Fly some space. See if they can get that done.
He does have Night Rain doing some early body blocks, so he should at least be set up for a better start. And I do see some early blocks from Ollie in that triangle. Again, knowing the game plan for Earthshaker. Stack up that triangle, drag them together, echo. It gets you a bunch of gold towards a fast blink. But you're going to have to clear out both camps before you can start that.
Yeah, both camps are blocked. I remember seeing Sentry Ward setups like that when Jinky was playing Techies. They made sure to shut his game down. That was years ago.
Techies used to do that too, yeah.
I think this was, what, 4 years ago at this point? I mean, that might have been forever ago.
As long as stacking is good, some form of instant stack clear will also be good. It cycles through which heroes it is. It's usually the carries who want to do it, but I mean, right now, it is very popular, right? If you need a stable offlane pick, just pick someone who will stack and farm triangle. You know, Beastmaster, someone like that, Axe. He can do it. It's just very
Dawn
safe.
gets through him well. Early goings and eaten one for Sumail early on. He was being pressured though behind the tower. He had eaten a bit of damage, at least early on, from Emo, but you hit that level 3, you've got that 0-1-2 build. Can you start to take away some of this CS, some of this momentum that maybe they're trying to use with this Storm Spirit? Last game I talked about supports that came through to mid that would help out in those water and power runes. I like both support duos to do so. They've both got control. I mean, the dead shot is pretty brutal from a distance to maybe secure a rune for the side of Yakutou. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see which teams end up being more fortunate as we get to that 4 and 6 minute mark. Meanwhile, Noob losing that courier to Ollie, and it did have quite a bit on it.
Courier kills can be surprisingly impactful. I think it's one of those things, you know, if you look at the top, pretty close.
Yeah, Omar actually looking like the one who's going to end up dead here, and it will be first blood for Bobica. Again, I like to say that this guy plays pretty greedy, and on a hero like Muerto, where you can turn in this core 4, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a good start to be all in on trying to be that core 4. Top lane with Ghost. He's had a couple of these slower games. He does have a hero that can farm up quite well. We'll see if they can give him that opportunity to kind of stabilize here. Omar dying isn't the worst thing in the world, but mid also looking at 2 heroes that, well, want to get to their first bit of impact pretty early on. Emo, though, can probably do that quicker with him just needing that level 6. A little bit harder for Earthshaker.
Yeah, he just needs 6 on the Storm, which usually part of the reason Earthshaker's good is you pick up those denies. But I'm actually noticing a lack of denies on that last hit chart. Emo doing quite well, so his 6 timing should be perfectly fine. And that means you're kind of missing the point of the early Earthshaker. So the stacking into the blink, that's another thing they're going to have to work on. GH has come over twice, maybe 3 times. But has Ollie to mess with him. So there has been blocking and unblocking in these camps. And right now, we were talking about shutting down the Earthshaker. I'd say they're doing a great job.
Ollie just walking right by GH and taking that water rune. Both these sentries still exist here in this triangle. This is devastating. Oh, look,
the sentry doesn't cover it.
This
is the
right
change
out
to
of the range.
Okay, I actually think this will be changed in the future because we in the past had spawn boxes that didn't cover, it couldn't be covered by one single sentry, and then they changed a lot of the spawn boxes so that one sentry would cover it. Then as part of, also Shadow Shaman's dying up here. Oh, maybe not. No, just kidding. But then as part of trying to balance things out, they increased the spawn box of the ancient camps on both sides to be a little larger to make it harder to stack insane amounts, which is still pretty doable. But that means that now these sentries can no longer cover the whole box unless you put it in the middle of the box and then deny it, but that always feels bad.
Yeah, never the greatest usage. As we see the Shadow Shaman die again. Oh, like, I don't want to be a concerned worrywart here for the side of Nigma Galaxy, but it's 5 minutes in and they've got a 2,000 net worth lead here on you.
Panic, Nigma fans, panic.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit them right in the heart rate with panic early on.
I do think this sort of needs to happen when you're picking the Night Stalker, right? You take the Night Rain Facet. The whole point is that you have a strong early game, so this is somewhat expected, at least in this lane. Plus, you have the counter pick of the Medusa into the Undying in the bottom lane. So I'd say it's not too worrisome yet, but you need to bounce back in this daytime phase where Night Stalker is weak again. We need to see Ghost recover. I don't expect to see that in the bottom lane because it's still Medusa versus the Undying, but at least your TA needs to start to do well before the Night Stalker hits 6 and threatens a kill.
So GH is going to potentially now get this D ward, but if you look at the ward really quickly, Ollie put this sentry here just out of range of knowing that he had to put that cliff sentry in. So he knew the range of it, knew where to put that other sentry, forcing GH to place another sentry to open up the camp. And all right, Ollie doesn't have a sentry, but I thought he was walking right back to do it again. That is some cyberbullying if I've ever seen some. They want to see me go up
the wisdom shrine.
Yeah, they're going to come for the wisdom shrine. They drop down that tombstone, a free 125 gold there for Ollie. They get the kill on a GH, and now they'll finish off Omar. Both supports dead on the side of Nigma Galaxy. They're trying to get at least something here onto Ollie, and they use that Echo Slam, and will get the kill onto Bane. So it's a 2-for-1 using that first Echo Slam, and the Wisdom Shrines both going the way of Yakutou.
This is sort of what they wanted to happen last game, but it's actually going to plan this time, right? They're shutting down the Earthshaker. They then make this play over to the Wisdom Shrine, and this time they make it in time. They steal it away while securing their own. So now their supports, which aren't even as dependent on it this game, but they are off to a great start. With that said, actually, Caudle and Bane are both kind of low level because they've just been playing in the triangle for so much of this. But that's actually very good for Yakutou bros, I would say. Because just to put some NA math numbers out there, GH has been trying to come to this triangle to stack since like 2 minutes is when he first came over. And this is the first stack that has succeeded here at 8 minutes after this endless sentry war. So if he had actually succeeded in stacking, let's say most of the time, you don't always come every single minute, right? There should be an extra 1,000 gold for his team for all those movements that just aren't there, and he wastes all his time, right? Like, you're supposed to get the golden XP from stacking, and then you get the mid lane while the Earthshaker comes over and clears it, and Earthshaker looks over and is like, wow, why would I go over there? There's no stacks. So now you're just this underleveled Caudle, and you're supposed to be a tempo hero. So that's why I think Yakutou is going to be really happy with how things have been going. Your Medusa is farming, your Storm is off to a good start. He's been hunting for kills. He's 1-0-1 right now with a regen, so he is ready to zip, fight, go straight back to farming. And then to avoid him, so free tower.
Yeah, free tower. Bobica is also very high in farm. The difference between him and the other supports is kind of insane. Rarely do you see a support doubling the net worth of the other supports like this.
It's usually like a Chen, someone who can easily farm the jungle while making plays. Muerta, not known to be the fastest farmer, so like you said, a lot of this is off of kills and just good laning, and being given time in the mid lane while the Storm Spirit, who has been enabled, moves around so much.
Echo Slam got used in the triangle to grab a couple of stacks here for Sumail. Like you said, he was missing out on about 1,000 gold from himself because he'd be the one taking those stacks, right? The team gold is, of course, GH getting a bit of gold for making the stacks. But that puts him now finally into this Blink Dagger, maybe something they wanted a minute or two before that could get them a couple of kills. And that first Echo Slam was used to get a kill onto the Bane and not those stacks, so it lines up a little bit differently. GH chased under the tower. Beyond is here. Of course, he's got a Helm of the Dominator to go with him and 2 allies. They do end up getting a kill there on a GH, and they've got themselves at a 4,000 net worth lead.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, the blink timing on Earthshaker is actually still pretty decent, but it's because he had to skip some of the early game items we might otherwise see from a mid Earthshaker. So it's now very do or die. You have to find successful plays with this Blink Dagger. Otherwise, your own game is going to struggle because Blink doesn't actually help you farm compared to the other items like the power treads you might have gotten. And your supports, who've been rotating around trying to do all this and it hasn't really paid off. The Keeper of the Light is level 5. The Shadow Shaman is 4.5. And it is almost 11 minutes into the game. So you need a successful kill here to get them some XP. Muerta's already level 6. Bane just about to hit level 5, right? Like, you have that XP advantage from these successful plays and the Wisdom Shrines. So this is where it's really tough for Nigma. You have to survive this while finding kills somehow at night versus Night Stalker and a Bane, who both have better vision than you. trying to Medusa.
Go for the Medusa. I mean, this is a fissure that blocked him in for a second. They've got the Tombstone trying to take it out. Flyfly's got a lot of mana to work with, and now Beyond is here. This is very difficult to think that they're going to commit it even more on, but if the fight delays long enough, Sumail does have a Blink and an Echo Slam up in 8 seconds. There's no more Tombstone now. Meanwhile, Emo's getting that sword. Oh, the Nightmare, Sumail! He still has Echo. He ends up using it. They get the code of Flyfly. He at least gets that. Can he get anything more? No, he can't. He's dead to Bobica. Emo comes in. Ball Lightning Vortex locked out onto Mood. And that is going to be a dead Undying who will respawn immediately with that Ceaseless Dirge. Not the worst thing in the world here.
Yeah, Medusa's maybe a little grumpy she got killed, but that's pretty good for the rest of her team. They get 3 kills across the map in total. At least Earthshaker does find a successful kill on that Medusa with the Echo, which we were saying he really needed to with this early blink and skipping out on the small items to make sure he still got this at a good time. So that part was successful, but the gold lead did not really shift because of that, right? It's still a 5k gold lead for Yakutou. Win probability is a lot smaller than I thought, though.
Fissure out. They don't have Epicenter. There is nothing that they're Echo Slam. Sorry. I think I said Epicenter.
Dude, I would have thought
times.
this is a Radiant Triangle for how much time they have spent here.
The heat map?
Yeah. Yeah, if you have the heat map, I mean, this is their triangle.
The whole time, though, TA is kind of just farming. It's not top of the net worth or anything like that, but you're going Falcon Blade, Dragonlance, trying to get into the Desolator, and maybe Ghost Attack timing with Deso can make something happen, especially with Sumail, if they've got the smoke into like a Blink Echo.
Your supports still aren't level 6, though.
Yeah, you know what? You got a good
Really
point. They're
painful.
both like the exact same experience away.
They're walking him to Ghost. Please farm a camp for us. Please.
Farm this stack. We need
Help
it.
us.
We're unblocking again.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
All right, they hit 6 on both supports.
Ollie's got his. He wants to Fiend's Grip somebody.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He wants to look for somebody with this smoke. Level 3 in the Nightmare, about to have it level 4, so it's 5.5 seconds on Nightmare. With the Fiend's Grip, might catch Ghost.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Might really catch Ghost, but instead, it's Muerta who ends up getting caught here by Omar, but they will pierce the Veil Fissure to stop the TP, and it's just a matter of time until they end up dying. I say that, but they've kind of let him live. They
No
stopped
way.
the Serpent Ward from
Baboka.
hitting him after he came out of the Pierce the Veil to make sure that Sumail got the kill, and he finally lands the Fissure and does get it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, that's so much space, though. 4 heroes and massive Serpent Ward used to get support Muerta, who admittedly is quite rich, but right, that's so much space for the rest of her team. I guess you can't complain about it either, though. I think they've realized they're pretty behind, so I guess you have to take whatever you can get in those situations. And hopefully it gives them enough space to poke at this bottom tower, but I say that as Caudle gets found. Amplify damage Storm Spirit. Not much you can do about that. He's got
He's controlling all
14
the
galvanized
runes.
charges.
Yeah, 3-0-4, 14 galvanized charges.
Radiant's bottom
It
tower
ain't
is under attack.
fun
Dire's
against this storm at the moment for Nigma Galaxy. They've
He's
kind
having
of
fun.
stopped the bleeding, I would say. A little bit on Nigma. Like, this net worth was kind of spiraling, but they have gotten it back a little bit. Like, they've not gotten it back, but it's held at 5.
If it stays for a while here, that would generally be good, because of course a 5k gold deficit at 10 minutes is really bad. 5k at 20 minutes is, that's actually not too big of a deal. But this is a Medusa game, right? And she hasn't really done much. So if you're going even with a Medusa as you get into the late game, like that's pretty scary, especially because we mentioned this is a really good Medusa game. She does not
Great
care scan.
about
about the Undying. The TA is okay, but in my head, that was because TA was more farmed, right? Usually TA is picked as a very strong laner who goes really fast. She is behind the Medusa.
who's taking some ginormous stacks right now.
Oh yeah, guys, this is our triangle over here. I forgot.
And nobody's
We've got
blocked
one
a thing.
too.
They're going to try and go again, but Beyond's the one who ends up getting spotted. He's got a shield room. He's got an extra 900 life. Just free to his disposal. That is not what you want to walk into. And despite the fact that they've been blocking the camps, the stack totals have been equal.
But I mean, just imagine that hadn't happened then, right? He's probably sitting at 16 to 20 stacks or something for how much he has tried for his team.
Very, very true. Smell looking for the shard. I'm looking at the TA. 200 gold from the Deso. And is that the moment you feel comfortable moving? Or are you already at this spot where Medusa's like, all right, bring it? I mean, clearly, you know, it's not everything a Medusa needs, but the advantage ahead now starting to get exacerbated. As I said, they had held it at 5,000, but they are starting, you know, they got those stacks and they've got a little bit more. This Medusa is pretty happy with the farm levels that they've gotten to, as Ghost is still trying to break the top 2.
I think with the Deso, you try to get, I mean, any kill you can get, you take. But I think actually the easier thing to go for is the objectives. Snipe Roche, snipe the Tormentor as they come up, because Undying is good at it, the Massive Serpent Ward is good at it, the Deso is good at it, right? Those are static things that, even though you're behind, you can still do. These heroes on Yakutou are quite strong, as GH is experiencing firsthand right now.
Fiend's Grip, he's got 12, 13 wand charges if he could have stayed alive, maybe to extend his life, but Emo under the vision. Echo Slam, Fissure, they need more lockdown, they've got the Hex, and now with the Shackles, they will kill off Emo. That is a kill for Ghost, who adds to at least getting himself a bit more gold and getting himself on the board. They do also get a kill there onto Ollie.
I think you go Roche. You finally got some kills, some pretty big ones too. Storm Spirit, take away some of those galvanized stacks. But also he was just worth a lot of gold, over 1,000 for the team in total. And now they're going to get Roche. Yeah, definitely just throw down the ults, take what you can, and this will help cut the gold lead down and give yourself the Aegis to work with. Though it is being contested.
Try and contest this without the Storm. He's up in 7 seconds. They just need to be able to hold on. The Illuminate's coming through. They got the silence, and now they'll go the dead shot. Oh, the Aegis snatched by Beyond. Oh, dear.
That's a disaster.
Oh, God. Has the BKB ready.
I mean, that was really well done.
I'm earthquake proof.
That was really well done. They knew, you know, we don't want to directly fight. We don't have the Storm Spirit, but we have the vision from Dark Ascension. I'll pop BKB, send in the dead shot. We'll just try, you know? If we don't get it, it's not even that big of a deal. But if we do get it, then wow, have we just broken the spirits of Nigma. I mean, they're pretty resilient players. They're going to keep going, you know, but that feels real bad. You thought you had something going for you. Now you're going to have to settle for a Muerta kill, maybe.
It's a long time to be pierced and veiled as they're trying to get this kill. They will not get it yet. The dead shot connects, still alive. Oh, finally. They get themselves at least the decay to get that. Oh, God, that looked like one that was going to get away and even more debilitating to the mental.
Yeah, I mean, when you have to work that hard for a Muerta support kill, which you kind of predicted. She's been doing pretty well. I see a Dragonlance queued up. She got the Atos, got the drums. Like, I fulfilled my job as a support. It's time for some damage. I'm going to start right-clicking, guys.
Oh, it goes. You know, I was looking. He got that first kill on the Storm, but it must not have been while Storm somehow with the Desolator. Must not have been while the Storm was corrupted by Deso, because he didn't get charges for that. They're going to chase. They're going to go Fissure, Totem, Noob, trying to survive, goes into the Flesh Golem, throws a decay out, only hits on one of these heroes. They've got the Shackle. It is on the Beyond. They do give a Tombstone seemingly for free. It's 200 gold there for the Medusa. Fiend's Grip on a Ghost. He is in trouble. The Echo Slam comes out, but now they go to the Stone Gaze. They hit the X, and it doesn't mark the spot for them to finish the kill just yet. Nobody dead on the side of Yakutou just yet. And now they will get Sumail. They will get the kill onto the Earthshaker. They will take the Aegis away from Beyond. There is still a lot coming here from the side of Nigma to try and go for Fly. But the Nightmare's in enough to get the save. Ghost still going in. He's got 4 heroes around him. No help! Where is your team? Oh dear. Ghost is in and nobody sees him. He needed a lens of truth to help him out to see where he was at, and that is unfortunate because Fly, who seems so vulnerable at the moment, was the one who got that kill. The Gorgon's grasp, the go for Noob. He is still surviving. They hit the Hex on a Beyond, but he is able to walk away. Oh dear.
I don't even know if you need to push that hard at the end. The start of that fight was already really good. That was a little risky to chase that hard, but you know, they get out. It works out. I gotta say, that was really good execution from Nigma, especially the Earthshaker. Sumail was very patient, knew the Fiends group was gonna come out. He's like, I'm gonna go Echo, I'm gonna cancel it, gonna line up this Fissure. So close to getting a quick double kill on Storm and Bane, and then you turn it around. But they just lack the damage because they're 7k behind. And if he had that Kaya in that fight, right, that's probably the damage to finish the job, and then you get a winning fight. And this is why Dota is a game of inches or centimeters, depending what region of the world you're from, where just every little bit helps you in the next fight. And, you know, it's Nigma on the back foot, so this fight does not work out for them.
Yeah, it doesn't work out, and now Ghost ends up dead. He does not like to feel that kind of pressure on him. And you can see the net worth is starting to split between not only him and the Medusa, but the other 2 cores on the side of Nigma Galaxy. You can see Sumail's kind of struggling a little bit to find gold. But of course, the big fact that they do have themselves a Muerta that is getting a bit of net worth under their belt. They go to the Hex. It's onto the Storm. They're chasing Omar. They've got Beyond nearby, but Omar is not going to be the one who ends up getting got. Sumail needs to maybe try and escape this. He throws a Fissure and a Totem to clean up a creep wave TP attempt. Oh, God, Emo.
So close.
You said game of inches, game of kilometers. I mean, that is, woo.
You do have to take those. You have to take those risks. You know, there's another world where he does get caught, and it's like, oh, why did he do that? That's so bad. But, I mean, when you're this far behind, you have to delay them from pushing. You have to cut these creeps. And, of course, it's risky, but, I mean, you're not going to catch up if you don't take any risks. So you just need small things like that where you barely get away. Like, that's how you slowly come back in a game of Dota where you're this far behind, which is going to continue being tough because here's the Tormentor taken, and it goes over to the Bane, which is much better than the Muertas. Well, maybe Baboka doesn't think so. You know, he's building towards right click. He wants that shard, but you usually don't have any stacks this early, so the farming speed on Bane will go much better for your team. Nigma's trying to find them on the retreat after the Tormentor. You know, they're all low from doing it. Can you get a quick kill? But a very good escape from Yakutou, and Nigma, a little unlucky too, chose the path that no one took.
Definitely the path less traveled, especially by the Radiant side. Throw down the Giga Ward, try and grab a tier 2 tower. They've got this Deso, they have the damage to put some hard hits on it, but will anybody react to try and defend this? Doesn't look to be the case. There's that back door for a moment. Creeps come in, and that is a tier 2 tower for the side of Nigma Galaxy.
I don't think they're too worried about defending that. I feel like they're closer to their own timings and they needed to wait for their own skills to be up. They're actually smoking now. They've had a chance to heal up. They want to go while some ultimates are down. And Knight is up now, right? You don't even have to use your Dark Ascension strictly. Well, now you will, but you were hoping at the tail end of the night to find it.
Beyond 2,200 gold. Ooh, yeah, another kill here on a GH. And they will find Omar. They've got the dust ready. And they will get both supports on Nigma Galaxy. I understand GH being here. He's been here a lot, trying to get some farm, trying to push out these waves with the Illuminate. You got that +1 with Omar in the vicinity, though, and you know, how many heroes need to be that far on the other side of the map?
think you want to, again, going back to you are behind, you need to force them to go back, which they did, right? That was a lot of heroes coming to their own half of the map. But because they are so far ahead, you know, Fly's free to, okay, I'll be over here farming. You know, I'm okay, like, moving away as soon as the fight ends. I'm not scared of running into their heroes. So it's not that bad either, making that play and getting support kills. Especially as you're just biding your time. You're waiting for the second Roche. You're going to finish a Scotty on Medusa. Curious what he decides to build on the storm. Oh, there we go. BKB. I was thinking BKB makes sense to line it up, but maybe he wanted something else. Something a little greedier, perhaps. No, it's going to go for the safe BKB. You're going to line up all these timings nicely, get that second Aegis, get the banner, push high ground. Here's the Crystallis for, is that the TA I saw?
Had they just stepped a little bit more forward, they might have been able to take out the Fly Courier, but he didn't buy that ulti orb on it anyway because he's short the last bit of gold. You get the top tier 1, but Ghost, he's going into the Crystallis. He wants to get this Linken's to feel a little bit more safe in these fights defensively. And unfortunately, you know, now you've skipped it, do you feel like you can step up to these heroes? You've got Omar who's trying to get a big defensive item in the BKB to try to stand his ground there when he's shackling or hexing or controlling in any way. But it ain't going to be easy. I think a big turnaround point, as we've talked about, was that Roche in that bottom area of the map. And them not getting that Aegis was a big play here for Yakutou to shut down what was seemingly the beginnings of a comeback.
Yeah, it should have been 5 minutes of strength for them to recover. Instead, it ended up being 5 minutes of continual punishment.
Can they find the fight, though? These traps are down, the smoke, they go into the triangle, maybe they can get them from behind, but they know exactly where Ghost is, and he doesn't really have a way of escape. He actually went further towards the tier 2 tower, putting him away from his team, and that means he's dead. His team was wrapping around the other way, which means they cannot get there to save him.
That's the strength of the Night Stalker. You pop ult, you see everything you need to see in these fights. So even though he does get a fast blink away on the TA, you just can't out blink a Storm Spirit zip. You get run down. And like you said, I think even if he goes towards his team, you probably still can't take that fight. So I don't know. Maybe it's better that it was just one hero. They're gonna try though. I'm not sure about this.
This is rough, but
she does a lot of damage.
That Beyond dies very quickly, so they at least get one, and they're delaying the Roche. Getting Beyond, does it delay the Roche enough for Ghost to be back?
Dire are scanning.
That was
It's gonna be 1 minute till Roche goes top too, so this timing is gonna be interesting.
Okay, I was not a believer in that, but between the damage amp of Undying, I don't know if there was a solar bind in there, but they all landed spells at once and just deleted the Night Stalker.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. And they're pulling Roche, just trying to get it away from Yakutou, who are definitely sitting there. Dead shot
took
lands
all his health
immediately
in
on
that
Ghost.
1-2 seconds right there.
Pulling Roche, they've got the Hex, it's on the Muerta, ball lightning into the Vortex, pierce the Veil, they want to get this kill on the Muerta, but he's got the Rod of Atos, there's the Hurricane Pike to get some distance. Fly walks in, Roche hitting on Ollie. And there's the stun onto Noob. He needs to be careful. Ghost doesn't exactly have the damage to get the kill on a Fly very quickly at all, but Roche is still here, and he's going to start moving in 5 seconds. Does somebody want to continue to grab this? The dead shot misses, but Beyond, he's got that dominated Wild Wing Ripper that pushes Ghost out of the pit, and now somebody needs to go in, but it's another snatch! Oh, God! And Nigma out, so they cannot grab the Aegis! And that is going to be Sumail dead. Fiend's grip on a Ghost, he's gone too. And that all starts because that Wild Wing Ripper pushes the TA out of the pit, and they had already fissured. There was not really a way back in.
There's actually so many sick plays there back to back from both teams. So they know it's really hard to force Roche for both teams because of Stone Gaze being up. Like, as it gets close, you pop it, run in, steal it away. Same thing with Echo. You can't all rush in the pit or you get killed. So they fissure block the front to prevent the Stone Gaze steal, but the Hurricane creep that's in there just pushes him out so that you have time to get in there, and only Storm can go in easily with the zip, and so he steals it. That's actually such a sick series of plays. back to back, which in the end does favor Yakutou Bros. Now you have all the power you wanted. Yeah, maybe you would have put the Aegis on the Medusa to actually hit the buildings, but you're not going to complain about having it on the Storm Spirit, which I actually think is also decent on him. Medusa's proven very difficult to kill anyways. She has the evasion that this TA is not doing well enough. Otherwise, you could have an MKB, but I mean, you're 5,000 gold behind the Medusa. That's the MKB difference right there.
Oh, yeah. Fight died 11 minutes into the game when they dropped an Echo Slam on him, and that was the only time that he's died. It is in the Medusa show since, and it seems like it's going to be the Medusa show afterwards. Oh, Ghost, caught by Beyond, and Emo needs a lot of help, but they are still going in. They've got the BKB, they go to the Stone Gaze, they hit the Hex, it's onto Fly. They go in a little bit deep, but they do not want to go up onto the high ground and past. Job not done just yet for Yakutou. They got to get it done completely to force this game 3.
I can't believe there were 2 Roche snatches. I feel that's quite rare.
One is rare, yeah, too. I don't know how many games
we
we've
have
had
a stat
that.
on that. I wonder how many snatches there have been in a Dota game, like a pro Dota, because it's quite rare. You usually secure it yourself. Like that's probably 95% of Roches. Like you just secure your own Roche, or you steal Roche. You steal the kill and the Aegis, but actually they get the kill and you steal the Aegis is rare to happen twice. Maybe a third time if we keep going, because it's looking pretty rough for Nigma. They're 15k down, but this has happened to them in this very tournament itself, and they seem to hang on and drag it out. Maybe they don't win it all the time, but they will make you work for it. And if you slip up, they could take this back. I mean, this is massive Serpent Ward and a TA. Right, so if you slip up, you wipe going high round, they will run down to your base and take barracks real fast.
My question just really is, how many items away from that are they in reality?
From rushing down the base.
From taking a fight, first of all. I mean, they will find Ollie, and that is 1 kill. That's gold going their way for New, but like now you've got Ghost, who was thinking about going back into the BKB to try and, you know, have more survivability, which I think they desperately need, but have committed to the Daedalus. They are in such a bleak position, and Yakutou, they're working with an Aegis for another minute and a half. They don't have to force themselves to make moves because I think they feel as though they are really far ahead items-wise. It's just going to take so much for the side of Nigma to get back into the game.
They're definitely ahead now. I do think we're at the point where you want to capitalize on your advantage, right? You actually want to break the base, which is what they're committing to now. They were trying to do what happened last game, which is, you know, spend most of Aegis looking for a pickoff. If you get it, great. Take buildings then. Otherwise, force it at the end of Aegis, though this is a little deep.
Yeah,
Chain stun?
Aegis killing him once isn't going to be exactly the best. Meanwhile, you know, Ghost isn't here. He just took a Tormentor. He got a shard for GH. That doesn't matter, though. Noob is dead. He's got the Ceaseless Dirge, so he will be back immediately. Emo still holding on to this Aegis for another 34 seconds, but they'll take that out with a Decay and a Totem shot from Sumail. But can they get the control continually? The Fissure nowhere near the mark. They got the 2-3 up towards the top. Fly standing his ground. Do they have the damage to even get a kill here? Again,
Deny
still,
it.
Ghost is not here. Finally shows up. Fissure. There's some blocking potential, but can go the other way. Yeah, he still has Beyond, though, to just pop Dark Ascension, BKB, and jump in. So not bad, honestly. Yakutou, they get themselves the melee racks. Range Rax isn't going to heal up. Top lane's going to be exposed a little bit. That's going to be pushing in. But do Nigma Galaxy have anything in the tank to really start to pull it back? These BKBs are going to be very, very necessary in step 1.
I mean, we kind of see the damage, right? The Storm has Aegis, so of course he feels a bit more comfortable to zip in that far, but he can die, right? Like, that's the thing. It's hope. You feel very hopeless when you just don't have the damage to kill anyone. You do have the damage to kill people here, but they have saves, so it's very tricky. You got to find the right fight. but that means there's a chance. And that's what you have to be careful of. You feel comfortable with the state you're in on Yakutou. You've got the top lane barracks, at least the melee, so that should push in, right? You just proceed very carefully here. Sit behind your Medusa, keep chipping away at towers, wait for Roshan, things like that. If you find pickoffs ahead of time, great. If not, you don't force anything, and you should be good. But if you slip up, if you lose sight of it, you lose a little bit of focus, feel too ahead, right? That's where you can give some kills over to this TA, who maybe is going to die herself right now.
No, TA went meld and then got away, but GH not so fortunate. That was
onto keepers, just a support, but that actually is still enough. The Coddle Blasts are very annoying for your high ground, so actually while he's dead, you're gonna do a little bit of damage here. You don't have to commit too hard, but just chip away while you can.
Time to grab a tier 3 with illusions. Don't go up too far.
Yeah, I mean, off that kill, right? They took about 2/3 of that tower. Very safe, just off a support kill. You're just gonna repeat that. Nigma's gonna smoke out, trying to break this cycle, trying to find any kill they can. If they can find Muerta top, but they don't have any vision.
That is not a fast kill. Has not been a fast kill for them either. Has the Hurricane Pike now. Has a Ranabetos trying to go in to get in that BKB. But the one who continues to get seen is Ali. We get the kill there onto the Bane. And they need to all escape. Nobody's coming over anyway. But it does push them a little bit more gold forward on this BKB for Ghost. Sumail not really farming much at this moment for the BKB.
No, there's not been a lot of space, believe it or not, as Yakutou has been keeping all the lanes shoved in. This move out gets you a Bane kill, but more importantly, it gets you on the map. Just try to de-ward, place your own wards. They do need to find this one on the cliff, though, that is scouting out a couple of them. I think they're waiting for the courier to come out. If you don't miss that, you might have a false sense of security, though.
Ooh. This is seeing GH, but they back off a bit. And back off that ward. Roche potentially up at this moment, but not up at all. At least not yet. Will there be a third snatched Aegis?
That would be crazy. Every Roche is snatched. I don't even care which team. I would love it. Let's see a third snatch.
That'd be crazy. I'm manifesting right now.
I would love it, but it's really tough because this is looking quite secure for Yakutou bros. They have really good vision set up. That cliff ward is still there. Who could be? It would have to be like Earthshaker blink echoing and grabbing it, but he doesn't have a BKB, so he might get stunned on the way in.
Let's see. They will look up at the high ground again. Hex hit BKB from Omar, ready to just go and stand his ground. Now Wi-Fi turns this one, and that's the BKB used by Omar. The fissures have crossed paths, but this isn't really doing enough. They nullify Ghost. They got the Vortex. Here comes Beyond. Ghost saved by the Soul Rip. Oh, coming back towards the side of Yakutou and ends up gone. They just cannot help him enough.
That was an unfortunate force step. I think multiple happened at the same time, so he spun around. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but went in the wrong direction. That's going to be... Well, Flyfly stuck in a weird spot, but had enough range to take the barracks at least. Can he get out of here? Manta's out.
Ooh. Can they clean up anything from this? Fissure on it too? Alright. Maybe they can get something, but there's the Nightmare, and that's new being sent back.
The Nightmare has been so good. It's why Bane and Ringmaster are very good versus Shadow Shaman, or actually Fiend's Grip as well, if it's like Ringmaster versus him, because that was the BKB reveal from Shadow Shaman. They were trying to get a lot off of that, like, let's lock her down, let's kill her. They can't stop me because of this BKB, and he's not going to Fiend's Grip me. Oh, he just Nightmared the Medusa, and that ends the Shackle BKB. Right? That's why that save is so good. While you just sit behind Medusa, let her hit the buildings. They secure mid. They're going to go reset, get this Roche. It's now the third Roche. So you're going to have Refresher Shard. I guess you give that to Storm. 2 BKBs, 2 Hexes. That's pretty good.
You have Echo Slam. Do you have to contest this?
Well, you've got to. Otherwise, we're not going to get a third snatch in this game.
The game's going 60 minutes. Come on.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're right. You're right. What am I saying? Well, they're not going to make it in time for this. This is falling pretty quick.
Disappointment, unfortunately, for all the Aegis stealing fans out there.
How many fantasy points is an Aegis snatch?
I don't even know if that's even
yeah, it may not be counted.
Criteria.
10,000.
All of a sudden, maybe I'm catching up.
Well, with the Aegis now secured, the last Aegis was on the
know they're
Storm.
gonna go for this shrine,
but I think you wanted it on the Medusa, which they have it now, so they can just sit behind her. They're not quite behind her yet. Okay, now here they are.
Waiting for the damage. It ain't coming. Hex reflecting the nullifier. Ghost is
There's
dead
some
again.
damage.
The story of the Ghost was quite short.
No
And this
Ghost.
trip to the shrine was short as well.
80 seconds. I don't think you're defending this last set of barracks here. Really aggressive banner placement, though.
Even 200 gold, but that means you're going to get hexed, reflect the nullifier again. Again, Fly in a very vulnerable position, but he's got an Aegis this time. BKB's going to be popped by Boca. They go to get the kill onto Nude. 2 heroes, no buyback, and this is your bottom set that's going to be quite vulnerable. You do still have a ranged barracks with 66 health over mid, so if they get just the bottom, it's just the bottom set of racks and not mega creeps just yet. But there's Zemo coming in with Refresher. They've got the double hex on to the Earthshaker. Sumail ends up dead. He'll buyback immediately. They're looking to get the Fiend's Grip and the kill on a noob, and they will. He is dead for quite some time. The Ceaseless Dirge ceases to exist.
It's going to be the last barracks secured here. Yakutou looking like they've secured their way to a game 3 here in classic Nigma fashion. They'll hold on until the very last moment. Maybe something possesses Yakutou to lock into the Fountain S5 to get a massive Blink Echo. I think that's that's step
LGD
1.
replays.
Step 1 of a 6-step plan to get back into this game.
Oh, Ghost gets the BKB off, but that has not looked like it has mattered all too much. The Lotus is what helps out too, but Ghost steps in for a split second and then just kind of
steps back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just sitting behind Medusa. No mana, but 2 minutes on this Aegis. I don't see a way to kill her twice. Again, outside of perhaps bringing her to the fountain somehow.
Everybody buy 4 staff.
Now that would be a hype play. 5 4 staff into fountain.
Gets the Aegis kill off the Psionic Trap. But you're not going to have this ward anymore. Can they kill Medusa for a second real time? Ball lightning in deep, not catching anybody, but the throne is exposed. They should be able to get the kill here on a noob. He still doesn't have the Ceaseless Dirge. The calling is down, the blink is forward, the Stone Gaze active. They are looking to kill off all these zeros on the side of Nigma Galaxy. They get the kill on Omar and goes. The throne explodes, and game 2 goes to YB.